Alright guys, for today's video, we are going to be reacting to 4 different matches in my 4-5 bracket that I ended up going 9-0, so we can analyze the really good matches and see what we can improve on, and maybe you guys can even learn a couple takeaways when I explain some of these points through. So if you guys do end up finding this informative, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel so we can release more of these videos and we can all get better together. So right here we got these 13-year-olds, and you know, really the tail of the tape is you gotta stay in the game. A lot of these games we will start out behind, so they have a good overhead right there, as you can see. And you know, going into this game, I pretty much just said, let's give a lot of high balls, do some overheads, but that wasn't really working. Really good shot taken out of the air there, popped up a little too high, but you know, you just gotta play 1 point at a time and do not get discouraged by anything. Really good. Now we're at the net. Good speed up. I got the return. We're back in the game. Hastily speed up, but you know, if you lose points on your own accord there when you could have really won it, you shouldn't discourage yourself, because you know you're gonna get that 9 times out of 10 anyways. So I don't even really hate that speed up. So right here we get a early out ball going into the second shot here. Good drive, high ball. Yeah, I got the first 2, couldn't get the second one there. If we rewind the clip a little bit, I was a little out of position. That's so first one, second shot, and then the third one I missed. The second shot I could have gotten a little lower, but I was still in the point there. So yeah, I mean, countering guys, you just got to realize it's not super hard. You just got to be in the right position. So if I moved back a little faster there, then I would have been able to get the third reset, possibly get in the kitchen and win that point. So yeah, our goal here is just, we know we have the consistency, we know we have the dinking. It's just tightening those unforced errors, and we should have this one in the bag. Make our way up. Little hasty speed up. You know, you don't really have to do early speed ups in a 4-5. We can just play pure mechanical and win, but that's just the strat we were going for, you know? Yeah, pretty much most of the matches we were just doing unforced errors to start out, then we locked in. Right there, good poach. Just got to keep the ball low, guys. You just got to keep it in the kitchen. Don't do attacks if you're not ready to do an attack, right? Just don't do a random unprovoked attack. It might bite you in the behind later on. Good resets, and just reset it, right? No need to have aggression. I got the save back, and then we couldn't transition there. So those aren't bad points. We just are a little demotivated right now. We just need to make our way up. No dumb mistakes, and we should be fine. Especially, guys, if you're struggling to win matches at the 4-5 level, 4-0, 4-5, trying to get to 5-0, just focus on your consistency, your mechanics, your basics. Get them repetition going. Get your drops in, get your resets, get your dinking. And then you can add the more special things like lobs at the net, risky speed ups, things like that. And then you can just add that to your game, and then you have a bag of tricks, you know? So I believe we're down like 1-7 here. Something ridiculous. So all about 1 point at a time, guys. Make our way up. Also, context for this too, if you guys are playing tournaments, you never know when you're going to play, right? So I think we had a first match, and this is our second match. We ended up waiting 40 minutes, so we were cold. They just came back from a match, so they were warm, and it's all about getting in the game. Don't discourage yourself, even if you're down. Just like we were, like 1-7, down 6 points. It's not really over, so you just need to keep at it. Remember, guys, for consistency's sake, you just need to get your shot in 1% more than theirs, and then you win the game, right? Just think about that. Not doing anything too risky. They earned coming up to the kitchen. Keep playing it. And, you know, tricky speed up. Nothing you can do there. I think I just said there, you know, just start targeting the women. That should be the game plan regardless. So just a little refresher. So make sure you guys do communicate with your partner. It is good. Make sure that they are in a good headspace, and you can encourage that by just kind of, even pointing out the obvious isn't a terrible thing, just a little reminder, because when you're out there losing a bunch of points in a row, you're not feeling your rhythm, even though you're not even losing points, you're not feeling rhythm. It's a good refresher, like, hey, look, just get up to the net, dink to the women, and then it's a good reminder. There you go. Perfect resets by my partner there. In our dink game, textbook, pop-up, speed up. Not even adding too much on the speed ups either, guys. If you want to do a speed up bait, you can do it. Speed up bait, hit it kind of soft, and they want to counter, then you can counter their counter, easy win. There comes the lob against the shorter player. Boom, come in for the poach. Mixing up aggression and control, guys. That's all you got to focus on. Probe shot. Drop it in. Dink, dink. And then just capitalize off of the unnecessary speed ups, right? If you know they're going to speed up, just have your paddle ready. Keep dinking against them. Shot might have been in, but, it is what it is. Don't necessarily need the lob there, but, it is something that we could mix in. It just didn't work. Again, shorter players, you could put a lob in there. Probably should have moved up, though. As you guys can see, they have a whole entourage now. What is that, like 24 people over there watching them? So it's getting kind of intense, like these close games. Hit the net there. My gets this game were crazy. We're going to rewatch that. I don't know how I'm getting a lot of these speed ups. Just making sure I get my paddle there. Unforced error into the net. Just wait for the unforced errors in 4-5, guys. That's all you need to focus on. A lot of them are going to be coming. Get your mechanics down. Little hype up scream. Get in the game. We're at 10-9 here. Get up to the kitchen. And they bit the speed up. So one game in the book. We are 2-0 here, and we're going to go to the next match. All right, guys. We are in the second match of the day here. I believe at this point we're like something like 5-0. So we are getting them wins. We're more dialed in, less unforced errors. We still start out all these games pretty slow, but we know that at this point that we heat up as we go on. We just get better and the other teams get worse. So we're just banking on, just play mechanical to start out. Good hands to start this one out. Boom, flick shot to finish the point. That is a very good point. So we are actually going to rewatch this. I do my patent pending unofficial Professor Pickleball shot right here. It is kind of an off rhythm lob where you can really weaponize the lob at the kitchen, especially with the backhand. Now I am a left-handed player, so I get my backhand on the right side there, but you can either use it in two situations. In a situation like this, where I am behind the ball, as you can see, when I get to the ball here, the ball is on the outside of my foot pretty much, right? Of course, I have long legs, so I can really stretch. So for the average player, it'd be way farther outside, but I'm still reaching all the way out over there, right? So, really, all you can expect for the ball to go is either down the line and then they can potentially poach it, or you can have it go to the middle here. But if you're doing an off the rhythm lob, granted, you should only use it 1 to 2 times per match, just because if you do it repeated, then this guy can easily just rotate a little bit backwards towards the middle, get an overhead. But you want to go out to get that ball off rhythm and just use your arm, push up the ball, cross court to the women's side. I mean, even if it's a men's side, it doesn't matter, but you're doing it cross court all the way to that corner over there, so you have the most amount of room, so you can really feel free to put as much arc as you want on it, so they can't hit it out of the air, hopefully. So as you can see, just use your arm, a little bit of wrist, and then reset here. They did actually get the ball, but then now we have control at the net, and then we win the point. So we start at 2-0 here, so not too bad. So, okay. I had a bad drive, whatever. We're at the net, though. I see my partner's ball drop in. I'm pretty sure that ball was in. And, you know, last game I did do a bad call. It 50-50, especially in the match. It's really hard to say. And, you know, if you're someone that does a bad call every now and then, it's like one in a game. Like, what are you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? You just try your best to be fair. But, I mean, this was kind of excessive for the other team to do. I mean, that pretty much, that was smack dab on the line. Boom, right there. So I was kind of confused, and you'll see that flare up later on. They do a good drive drop, but we are here. Make sure to bend your knees low. You can really get on that ball, flick it to the women's player, win that point. Unlucky, sort of unforced error in the net. We did a good job. They did do a good job on holding us and continuing those resets. So just the next point. Right there, speed it up to the men. They're expecting it to the women. So if you can get a little redirection, it kind of led to a pop-up, and then I finished it on the other end. Feeling confident, right? If you want to feel confident and go for a crazy shot, go for the crazy shot. Have fun, right? You're in a 4-5 tournament. It's not a big deal, okay? A little inside out forehand flick shot. It did go wide, but, you know, it was on trajectory. A little bit too many shots to the men's player. Remember, you're only hitting to the men's player to check them, right? To make sure they're in the point, but in that case, every single ball went to them, so you just got to focus on targeting the women's player. Nice little roll there. Another shot in the net, unforced. Nothing you can do about that. Just got to look for the next point. And 4-5, you do want to be taking bigger shots. A lot of the shots are going to be popped up. Don't be mad at yourself if you hit a couple to the net. It's fine. Just like that right there. That was probably the first overhead I missed since I was probably born in the 2000s. So I literally don't care. I'm going to just do the same overhead in the future. Don't get fazed by your shots. Remember, you're doing all these shots thousands of times in practice. I always tell this to my partners. I get a little nervous. Like, dude, you just did it 1,000 times. You can do it 1,000 more. Don't even worry about it. Don't think about it. Once you start doubting your ability to play the game, that's where it can really spiral. So just make sure you just keep at it. Always looking for the poach. And then we get an overhead there, right? Because it's just rinse and repeat. Same thing. And then, like I said, 4-5, you're going to see the unforced are going to come, right? You're going to make probably some, but expect them to come from your opponent as well. Right there, down the line drives. Again, you always want to check the men's player every now and again because they're going to be hovering towards that middle. I do actually have a short that I just posted of the cross-court drip shot, so make sure to check that out. I'll probably have it up here somewhere, or I'm on the top of the screen, so probably that way. Make sure you go check that out because it's a very good shot to have. Again, looking for the poach right there, and we have a lane change. Lane change. What is this, bowling? We got a side out. All right, so as you can see here, boom, cross-court drip shot. He did get to it, but, you know, that just pretty much buys you an instant way to get up to the net. You know, no better way to move up than to check the men's player in mixed. Okay, so that's... So, don't cause conflict, guys, but if you see something fishy, definitely step up for yourself. In this case, I kind of argue it because it bounced in the blue. It's not even close to being out. And he said to do a redo. So normally I would be pressing for it being my point, but being in a situation just like this in the past, especially if they say to do a redo, just do it at that point. You know what I'm saying? That's enough to make it as fair as possible for their bad call, and just let the points play for themselves. You know, especially if you're up, like, you just want to keep the game going, but make sure to check them, because if you don't really say anything, they're just going to do it over and over again. But I mean, as we can see the ball here, I mean, it's just, we'll expose and play in 0.5 speed right here. Boom. Oh wait, no, that's not even the right shot. Boom. I mean, that's in the blue. Like, so unfortunately stuff like that happens, but you guys just got to keep playing. Right there again, guys, you know, now if you're starting to see a formula, it's pretty much clinical, right? Especially if you're returning the serve, hit it to the women's, check the men, at least a pop-up most of the time. Right there, I was a little riled up because of the out call accusations, so I did get a little angsty, hit it to the net. Just got to target the women's, though. This guy's calls, man. Messing up his partner now. She's yelling at him. So right there, we did combine two tricks. We did the cross-court drip. She did get it, but we did come up to the net. And then just a bad volley at the kitchen. Just didn't execute it well. If I could have executed well, that would have been a 0.1. Again, right there, very good point, and you just got to check that men's side, and they're not ready for it, and we did win. So let's break down a couple shots there. I think that's a really good point that we can learn a lot from, where, you know, you're just resetting, get to the kitchen. Let's actually rewind a little bit back more. Right here, so start of the point. We're going to drive to the women's as usual, try to get a drop, not too good. And then this is what you guys, if you guys are struggling on overheads, make sure to focus on this, where shots, where opponents, when they hit overheads, probably 20% of the time, especially if you're getting to the balls, they'll hit it to the middle, but mostly they're aiming for that corner and that wide angle. So I'm not running reacting to the ball, I'm running reacting to what I know about overheads, right? I know that I want to be in that far corner over there and in that general area, and then I can get and hit the ball, and it's all about timing and just being able to hit the ball. So that's what you guys need to kind of conceptualize, right? You're not playing pickleball and just reacting to what they're doing. You're predicting what they're about to do. So in this case, it was a bad reset, and it was like an overhead lob, right? So, okay, overhead lob coming to his forehand. Where's it going to go? It's going to hook into the corner. So I preemptively ran into the corner and then got the ball over. Right, so overhead, get to that corner, and then just continue to try to reset here. Reset. And that's just a really good reset. Luckily hit the top of the net. And you just gotta also think beforehand, do I want to hit it out the air? Do I want to let it bounce and do a half volley, right? So in that case, I hit it out the air. It was a good decision. And then really communicating, called for the ball. We won that point. And then they call a timeout. The unforced errors will come. So that last match, they didn't record the last like 30 seconds, but I'm pretty sure it's just unforced errors to finish the game. As I said, they will come, so don't be discouraged when you make them yourself. And in this match, this is our second to last video. It's against a USC team. We love to play USC all the time. Great people over there. And then we have Brian in this case, so we're going to see how this one turns out. Kind of starts in the middle of the point, dinging to the women again. Boom, overhead surprise attack, works every time, pretty much. But Brian does do a good job at getting to the ball. I have played him a couple times, so and then we lose the point there. That's a very good starting point. But as I was saying, if you're using tricks, make sure that you use them really well against people who know how you play, right? So in this case, I've played Brian a couple times, so he got to my overhead, knows that it's coming, and you just got to get ready for those moments. It works more against people who aren't as familiar with your game. I'll give credit to the women's player for this round. It didn't look like... She definitely was one of the weaker players in the tournament, but she definitely held her own, and sometimes when you get too overzealous, they can surprise you and hit some really good shots. So make sure that you guys don't underestimate your opponents. I think that's a really good characteristic, because especially there's a lot of those 13-year-old duos, right? And I mean, you're like, oh, 13-year-olds, we're gonna beat them up, right? And then you just get destroyed. You might get pickled, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. The mental space is very big for pickleball. Make sure you do not underestimate your opponent. Treat everyone like Ben Johns, and you will notice yourself playing better. Great point there, great hands. We're going to rewatch it and really analyze it. So we get a return right here. Try to go for the women's, doesn't get the ball. Speed ups, really good hands, getting ready. Check the men, and then always be ready with that corner. You check cross court and you're poaching your women's side, you might get checked down the line if they get it, so make sure you can go and reach it. Piling up the unforced, but you know, sometimes you want to go big on shots, sometimes you want to tone it back. That's also one of my really big takeaways, is that with consistency, of course, if you hit light shots, you can get a lot of consistency, right? And you want to push pace on the balls. If you feel good, push it into the next gear. Push it into the next gear. You notice a lot of unforced, you notice things don't go your way. Take the gear back, go more mechanics, go more fundamental, go more basics, take a little pace off, and then when you have a base and you're like, okay, I'm comfortable here with my consistency, then you can start cranking it up again. So right there, right? I've been checking the men's player a lot, and it's been kind of biting me lately, right? So what I do, go back to mechanics, right? I get a poach dink, go to the women's player, you know? Not ready with the hands, just need to have your paddle out, really just counter that, right? Not too much backswing, really just get it and then just push it forward. Again, just, if you have no clue what you're doing in the middle of a mixed game, like 8 matches in, hit it to the women's player. I was feeling it, so went for a drive. Not really angry about that one, you know. Just got to go for those. You kind of want a droopier one that falls over the net so they can't get an overhead angle on it or a higher angle, but, you know, it is what it is. Check the men's player. It bit me bad, right? He countered me and could have finished it there, so just got to keep going to the women's player there. Textbook. Went for the check again. He was ready, but then you just, if the check doesn't work, you just go back to hitting to the women's. Went to go check me, didn't really work. And then we went to the women's. But this is one shot I have been working on, so you guys can kind of emulate this, where, as you can see, go for the women's. And then for the backhand here, notice, break down the shot, right? Why is this something that you could weaponize, okay? We're not thinking about a lob. We're not thinking about a drive. We're thinking about something in between, right? Where you're getting them in this extended position, but the ball's also going fast and it has height, right? Most people in this situation won't hit a two-hand backhand because there's not enough time. You're taking away the time, right? And then you're also taking away the time where they can't come around and do an overhead forehand, right? The only counter to this shot is either if you mess it up, or the only two counters, or is if they can really fast get their two-hand backhand, smash it on you, then it's not looking good for you. But when they have to hit it with one hand on the backhand side, it's going to be a weaker shot. You can't generate power like that. Now, he does get it down and is really good, but then we're able to transition, hit it to women's player. And it throws everything off, right? You're not playing conventional dinks and speed ups. You add this other characteristic. I mean, they look kind of frazzled, right, in this is freeze frame, and then you can take advantage of that chaos if they do end up getting it and you end up going back to dinking, right? So what's happening is it comes to him up here, an easy shot, able to hit it to the women's, pop up, win the point. So some of these shots throughout the points might have been going out, but you know, you just got to trust your gut if it's in or out. Sometimes it might be in, sometimes it's out, but just try to be fair. This video better not get copyrighted with all this music playing. In that situation, you guys might not want to speed up like my partner, but she was feeling herself, she was cracked, so she gets a pass for that one. But generally, you just want to make your way up. Could not get the overhead transition, but you know, it is what it is. If you can get 30% of overheads in and like win the point, that's good. Also, guys, if you're having that forward pressure as well as middle pressure, they're going to be going to the women's and we'll be hitting more till they're down the line there, but also more out. So if something is not broke, it doesn't need to be fixed, right? You just check men's, they hit it over, boom, boom, go to the women's. Always have that in the back of your mind. Really good speed ups, better counter. Let's watch that again. Sometimes they can just best you with a really good shot and you can do the same. Don't be discouraged, right? It happens, right? Good points. Boom. Really good counter wins the point, right? They were at the advantage, should have won that point. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but you can't discourage yourself. As well, if you're on the other team, you can use that energy, but don't get too overzealous. Great drive. You want to see those ones where they drop right over the net so they can't get a good angle. Now, for future tournaments, 5-0 and stuff, probably should put more in the overhead, but just play with what you're comfortable with in that tournament. It was not an overextended overhead. Just get that in and it won the point, so. Again, like, Our counters were on point our counters and resets were on point, and you can't really do anything against that, you know? It was just a really good, professional, top tier, PPA bound, get right there, boom! Twisted my arm, contortionist, and you can't really do anything about that, you just win the point, so. Go for the check, down the line to the women's. Yeah, we were feeling it at the end of this match for sure. Just pretty much winning whatever we want. Terrible overhead slam, gets right to the counter, wins the point, we win the match, right? Hopefully, what you guys are taking away so far is that I sound like a broken record. Why is that a good thing? That's a good thing because if something's working and you identify that, you want to keep doing it. If something's not working and you want to tone it back, you need to do that, right? So it's good, especially if you guys are watching your own footage. Try to have an internal monologue with yourself, right? Talk about the match. Oh, I did a reset. Oh, I did a drop. That didn't work. That did right. If you're going all over the place, oh, the drop didn't work. Oh, the drive didn't work. Oh, the drive worked. Oh, the dink worked. Maybe you should have some sort of repetition when you're talking about it. But here we are finally in the last match. This is the gold medal match. We did beat them in pool play 12-10, I think it is, because it's won by 2. So this is the rematch. Get the resets. And then sometimes, you know, the last reset won't work, but you got to go to the next point. But what I will clarify is that you guys need tricks in your bag. What do I mean? We beat that team by 2 points or whatever, right? But we were winning by 6. They made a excuse me. We made a comeback they made a comeback and we were stuck. No one was scoring any points for like 10 minutes, right? How did I win the entire game? With a trick. You need the tricks in your bag, use them 1 to 2 times, save them sometimes if you can, and then pull them out and they will win you a point when you really need something and fundamentals aren't working, right? So in this case, we'll play it right here, right? So we're gonna serve. Nothing's been working this game. Get the poach, boom. Cross-court drip shot, and you win the game after like 10 minutes of no one scoring points, right? You need those shots in your game, especially it makes these tournaments like 4-5 so much easier. Anyways, we are back to this match. Let's see how it goes. I mean, we already know the result, but... Four, 5, again, broken record, the unforced errors will come, right? Right? Again, unforced error will come. Get your shots in, get good looks, put them in good positions, put a good amount of pace on your shots, and the unforced errors will come. I mean, that one probably bounced in, but it is what it is. You just gotta keep going. Don't care about those points. Sometimes I have a seeing red mode where I'll just only attack every single ball and it's like the perfect shot and it always ends in an overhead slam just like that point. I was doing that the other day. It's like a 1 in 100 point for me. Just comes out of nowhere. We had a good cross court, but he had a better placement on that. Probably should have let my partner get that for the future. It was coming right towards her, but especially with that point before, if I was feeling a heater, you gotta get the heat check. Now, we also don't have a gold medal, right? This is our first gold medal, and we've only medaled with each other. This is our first shot at a gold. Or actually, this was our second shot for a gold. We got silver before. And we're just locked, right? We want this win. Now, unlucky overheads, he got really lucky with those, and I'm pretty sure I told her that. That'll happen a couple more times. I'm like, look, like, They're not going to do that the entire match. It doesn't make sense statistically, so just keep going. So as you can see there, I probably should have... I tell this to people I train all the time, where in that case scenario, when they're coming up, speeding up that aggressive, and you need distance or you need to attack, you have to pick one. You can't be stuck in the middle because then you lose the point because your feet aren't set, right? So if I really want to have that aggressive position, I got to have that in my mindset and then focus on the ball. Or I want to take that defensive position, I needed to take that step back earlier and then have my feet planted to get ready for the counter to come, right? So he's going to come up. He's going to hit this, and then I kind of step back, right? If he's hitting that and I'm there, I should get ready like, no, I'm going to get it bang, right? Or take a step back, I'm going to hit a reset into the kitchen, right? Ball goes to the net. We know that for the future, so I'm pretty sure I did recite that in my head, and we're just going here. So I think for this match, we did want to target the men's player a little bit more, so the mechanics of a normal mixed match don't necessarily apply because their woman was a 4-9. She had really good drives. Again, right there, boom, full offenses. Make sure your shots are always going down. It doesn't necessarily need to be the hardest shot, and then you'll have a really good chance, right? Down, down, down. Take away the pace on some of those shots. I could have just yammed that shot, but I went for the more placement, right? You can win points two ways, brute force or placement. Sometimes you want that placement shot. Again, I went for a very risky flick. It rewarded with him mishitting another of those lob shots. And I told her, like, you know, it's not going to happen much. It's a whatever unlucky thing. Super close one, close to the line. It was a good check down the line. Not angry about that shot at all.
Good. You did really well. You've gotten better for the time.
Nothing too crazy happening on those points. Nothing to really say. Okay, this is something I still need to learn a little bit more and get a little better at with drive counters, is that you really just have to have your paddle there and push at it, right? He's going to go for the drive, right? I come here and I have my paddle ready here and you're just pushing forward, right? You're not going like a this, because that you're taking away and you could hit it to the net, right? You come up with the paddle, oh, he drove, and then continue with that forward momentum, and you're just parrying it essentially, right? And it led to 0.1, right? Our friend at LMU, Aiden Schenk, he just won his first APP, so congratulations to him. But in that match, those people were driving good, and he was getting that little push shot, right? You guys need that in your bag, especially for heavy driver teams. Really good switch up by my partner there, right? Dinking to man, boom, check the line down to the women's player. She got surprised, hit it over, but then countered. Perfect flick right there. There's enough room and clearance over the net. Just get that flick right there. Clinical, guys. Come on. Mechanics. Get your mechanics down. Wins you games. Wins you games. Great point, great point. Always have your hands ready. I hit this loopy drive, if you guys saw. That loopy drive is really good if you're approaching and you want to get that side spin on that ball, right? You don't want it to go too far out, but you're getting a lot of spin, a lot of power on that, and it's low, right? So it's a very good shot to have in your arsenal and learn. See if you can watch it again here, right? Is this the point? This is not the point. Right here. Loopy, and it's low. We could have just ended the point there, but they had really good hands, and then the rest is history. So the quality is getting worse and worse. Sorry, guys, but this one's only 2 minutes long, so it shouldn't be bad. Very good overhead right there. We know she's going to do those. We know she has those, so nothing to be scared about or anything. Oh, we got Bruno. I'm amped. They're playing Bruno. It's over. Good D! Good D! Let's go! We're hyped. We got a freight train and it's not slowing down. If you guys need a video on mental warfare, I got you. Okay, that one in that moment, I was fully expecting. I'm like, damn, I didn't hit that. That was a perfect feeling reset and it just barely clipped the net. Yep. They're trying to psych themselves, but some of my, I wouldn't call it taunting because I'm not really like saying anything bad about them, but like the audio cues are, you know, you can only have so much mental fortitude before it starts breaking the dam. Winter is coming. I think I missed that. That's another one of my little trick things, a Burt. I mean, everyone knows a Burt. That was one of the shots I tried to do in that game where I got the cross-court dribble to win it. I also tried to do a Burt to win it. I missed it, but I got it there. So it's all about remembering that history, storing it, and being able to use it in the future when you see the opening, right? In this case, they're targeting her, but they're also wanting to keep her back. They're going to pop it up, going for the poach. Beautiful Burt. The unforced will come. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're at 12-3 right now. We were on a freight train. We wanted that win. Pop-up leading to an unforced. Or it was kind of forced, so can't be really mad at that one. Especially if you guys are up. Make more unforced errors, right? That sounds counterintuitive, but especially if you're up, you do not want to play to not lose. You need to play to win, right? You really got to be going for shots because they feel like their back is against the wall, but they'll still be nervous. You need to go for big game winner type shots because you have much more margin. You don't need to worry about, I need to win this game 15-3. No, like you can win it 15-4, okay? No, but you can win it like 15-11 or something, right? If you go for these big shots and you're playing to win, right? You want to crank it to overdrive. You always need to be playing in a higher gear than they are. Got that reset there, and I mean, look, they're raging, right? They are raging because profanity too, right? There's kids here. Half the people playing in the tournament are kids, you know what I'm saying? Where sometimes it's suffocating if you crank it up a gear and then all their slams and you get the resets over and it feels like they can't do anything, dude. You have a very good chance of winning. Little bit popped up, so good counter by them. But again, guys, you just need to focus on that, right? Especially resets are very demoralizing because it just feels like you can't do anything. Good drive. Always was going to expect it, right? Of course, back against the wall, they're going to have a run, right? It's all about stopping the bleeding, right? And then if there's bleeding, you're going to see us go back to the mechanics. The technicals. So technical hit it to the women. It was popped up a little. The men's player got it. Use your timeouts, right? Paddle out. And she's raging, right? She made a mistake. She volleyed at the baseline. Never volley at the baseline, guys. Please, never volley, because a lot of those go out. Mechanics, hit it to the woman. Not going for too much on these. And then boom. Now, higher levels, it's different, right? You still want to put more pace because they're not going to make the unforced. But in that case, go back to the mechanics, your technical play style, right? Boom, poach, poach. Great poaches, right? Go to the basics, get your shots in, because you can bank on 4-5s doing unforced. Again, going to win, right? Not even mad at that. That was a counter that I just mishit, right? If I hit it right, boom, that's another .1. I have a deep tool bag, right? We went for the cross-court drip as we know about, right? It just didn't, I wasn't able to execute on it, but it was a good look. Don't let them have their victories. Yep, come here, come on. Yep, come here, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it known the score in their heads without saying it. 8-14, right, guys? Not a problem. 9-14. Big whoop, right? Just remind them, hey, you need one more point to win. Boom, right? I was doing the cross-court overhead. We wanted that one back the other direction to the women's side, won the point. And there we go. Predicted the side change. She's kicking the ball like she's Messi. And we won the point. Got the gold medal. Completed the 9-0 run to win the 4-5 tournament. And hopefully you guys had some takeaways from this, right? Comment down below. Create a mental list of, and write it down. Comment it, right? All the different strategies, hits, different shots, different mental things that we talked about. Let me know if you caught all of them in the description. I'll name some of them off the top of my head, right? You got that cross-court drip shot. You got the lobs. You got the woman targeting strategy. You have the more technical shots when you need to hit them. Add the rest. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more of these, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.